So I call Ron Muffin, and it worked out really well to call him Muffin for about the first 6 months, but any of you that have been married for more than a weekend know that, occasionally you get ticked off at each other. So it was great when it was all like, oh, you did the dishes, Muffin. You took out the trash, Muffin. You made me muffins, Muffin. But after 6 months, it was like, you're being a big fat jerk, Muffin. It didn't quite sound that great. And it wasn't our idea to have a big family, okay? I am just very forgetful. I could never remember. Did I take that pill today or was that yesterday? Where are those pills? And then I'd find the pills had been 5 days. Do you know what they call you when you forget to take your pill for 5 days? They call you Mama for the rest of your life. So we had our 5 boys in 11 years. And we call them the Mini Muffins. Aren't we just so special? But pretty soon, Muffin had a new nickname for me, Bakery. And you know what, girls? By the time I was pregnant with the 5th kid, I had to say, look, Muffin, we gotta close this bakery down. Can't we get the health department in here and investigate something? I mean, we got the ceiling is sagging and the pipes are leaking everywhere. We gotta close this puppy down. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I can tell. So we had the talk. You know what talk I'm talking about? The big V. Hello, the big V. I didn't even really have to talk about it. I didn't have to pray about it. I didn't have to list the pros and the cons. I didn't even care who did it. I wasn't gonna do it. One thing that happens, you young girls, just a little tip, a little free marriage tip. Once you get married, your husband loses all ability to make a telephone call. He will not be able to order a pizza, call for a babysitter, make a doctor's appointment. The faster you get over that, the happier you will all be. True story. It was a day in February. I was 35 years old and now popping out my 5th kid. Very pregnant. And Muffin is a construction worker. So he was lacing up his construction worker boots before he was wandering off for his construction worker job. And he says, oh, by the way, Trey, can you call the doctor for me because I need to go to the podiatrist. He had a neuroma. It's a pain in your toe. And I said, sure, I can do that. So he went off to work and I was managing the cageless monkeys. They were off school that day for some stupid cashmere Pulaski sweater day. Stupid. In the middle of my day, I remembered that I was asked to make this telephone call, which my husband couldn't do. And back then, for you young girls, just so you know, when one wanted to make a telephone call, one would go to the drawer or the closet and look for a book. It had yellow pages in it. It was like Google, except one had to know the alphabet. And just so you know, one never lost their phone back then. Because if you couldn't find your phone, it's because you couldn't find the wall. I dug out the phone book and I am looking through the yellow pages, and it was quite an exercise, girls, because you had to balance the phone in the crook of your neck and hold the phone book and flip it, and I had the big 35-year-old pregnant belly. So picture me flipping through the phone book, and in that moment, a war broke out between the other 4 boys over some stupid Legos. In that moment, I had more clarity about family planning that I've ever had in my entire life. It was as if the light just shone down on me and I said, forget the toe, we're going north. He's having a vasectomy. I said it just like that. So I never did call the toe doctor. I called a urologist, a reputable one. This is how that phone call went. And this, girls, was back in the day before we had all these HIPAA laws and all this rigmarole. Sorry, if you're in healthcare, whatever. So sorry. So this is how that conversation went. Hello, Dr. Snip and Clip's office. Well, hello there. I have a customer for you. And we went back and forth and we made the appointment Friday, 10 o'clock. And then I said to the gal, well, what if I can't get him to do it? And she laughed as if I was kidding. And she said, we can't force him. I said, oh, I can force him. Every single one of you gals in here know exactly what to do to get your man to do something. So I cooked for him. Yes. I put away that phone book. I got out 2 Betty Crocker cookbooks. I made main dish, side dish, dessert dish, all kinds of dishes. I cleaned the house. He came home, the house smelled like pine saw and beef. He should have known something is up. We sat down to the meal. It was delicious. All the kids were just so well behaved. And Muffin says, so did you call the doctor? I went, You go on Friday and I'll drive you. Why do you have to drive me? It's just a little shot of cortisone. I'll just drive myself. So then, I had to tell him what doctor and what for. Because could you imagine if I had just let him think? He'd be like, that's not my toe! Probably should have gone that way with that one. And then I said to Muffin, so do you want to do it? And he said, no, I don't want to do it. I said, Let me rephrase that. Do you want to do it? Because if you don't do it, we don't do it. So he did it. And we still don't do it. We're tired. At 9:30, I'm like, you good? He's like, I'm good. Good night.